Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Abhinav here. So in this video, I will demonstrate how to fetch environment ID, application ID and application URL inside PowerApps. So why we need this? So there can be many use cases, like suppose we need to pass these three as a parameter to our Power Automate flow, or we can store the values of these three in order to set a variable or update a context variable. And there can be many times when we are making use of deep links. We need to pass the app ID or the application URL dynamically. So there can be many scenarios like this. But in this video, I will show you one of the scenario in which we need to send an email to the business user which is containing this application URL. And you must be aware that application URL is a combination of environment ID, app ID, and tenant ID, and I will also deploy this solution from one environment to other environment, and then we will check the respective application ID, environment ID and application URL pertaining to that environment. And we will implement this by adding few connectors in our Canvas Power Apps like environment variable values connector and Power Apps for makers connector. So let's check this video out, but first my intro. Welcome back friends. So in this demo, first of all, I will show you the environment details and then we will move to the app details. So you are seeing that I have opened this Power Platform Admin Center, and in the environments tab, all the environments are being listed. So by default, this environment is already created by Power Apps, and this the developer environment I have created at my own. Now we will move to the app details. This is the Power App solution, and I have already added the app name as app details. So let's see what is there in this app. If you click on this edit and edit in new tab, then you will be landed to this screen. So in order to save our time, I have already designed the app. So this app is basically meant to get the environment ID, the app ID, and the app URL, and the environment type also. Correct. So what I have done, I have added these three buttons, and in order to show the environment ID, I have added one label. In order to show the app ID, I have also added one label. And in order to show the app URL, I have added one label. Correct. So first we have to fetch the environment ID. So in Power Apps, there is no straightforward way to fetch the environment ID. Let's see how to do this. As I have shown you earlier that I have got two environment, the default environment and the developer environment. Right. So let's open this environment in new tab and this developer environment also in new tab. So this is the default environment, and here you are seeing the environment ID. Correct. And in this, and this is the developer environment. Here you are seeing the environment ID. Right. So in environment ID differs for default and for developer. Now we need to show this environment ID in our Power Apps. So how to do that? Yeah, so first of all, we have to create the environment variable, and then we will be making use of environment variable values connector in order to show the environment ID in our Power App. Right. So as you are seeing, this is the default environment that I am working on it as of now. So I'll be creating the environment variables here. So let's create the environment variable. In order to create the environment variable, you have to go to this new, and you have to just click here. Just give it the name of environment variable, as suppose if I give it env id, choose an option, text. This is the environment ID for this environment. I just copy this and paste it here. Just save it. So I have created one environment variable name as environment ID, right, for this environment. I will also create one more environment variable. So it will take some time to create. Let's wait. This environment ID have been created. Now I will create one more environment variable and will give it the name as environment type. Choose an option. Next. Environment type will be default for this environment. Just paste it in the current value section. Save it. So you are seeing that in this solution as of now, there are three things. The app, one environment variable is environment ID and the other is environment type. Now I need to fetch the values of these environment variable in our Power App, right? So how to do that? So in Power Apps, we have to add the connector. So in order to add the connector, you have to go to data, add data, just give it environment. So we need to add this environment variable values connector in order to fetch the environment variable values inside Power Apps. Correct. So this has been added. ID at the button click event, we will write the code. We'll apply filter function, filter environment variable values connector, and then we will give the schema name. It should be the name of the environment variable. The name of the environment variable is crfc4 underscore environment ID. Give it in double quotes, crfc4 underscore environment ID. So we need the first one. So we will apply the first function also. First, this dot value, correct? And then we will assign this to our, suppose the name, let's give the name as environment ID. This has been assigned, just format it. So this is the code for getting the environment ID, right? So in order to show it in label, so we have to just assign this environment ID variable to this label. Give it the name environment ID, right? So once you run it, then you are seeing that this environment ID have been fetched, right? So similarly, we will move to the environment type also. So in this button click, we will also fetch the environment type also. So we will just copy paste and give it the name as environment type. The name is env type, correct? And this environment type variable will be assigned here. Let's assign this env type. Once you run this, so we will be getting the environment type also, the environment ID and the environment type. So it is basically matching with this. Okay, so in order to get the environment ID and the environment type inside Power Apps, so what we have to do, we have to add this environment variables, and apart from that, we have to add this connector, environment variable values connector. Correct. Now we will move to the app ID. How to get the app ID? So in order to get the app ID, what we have to do? We have to add one more connector, and the name of the connector is Power Apps for Makers connector. Power Apps for Makers. This connector has been added. Now at the on click event of this, I'll be making use of the clear collect function because I need to see what this connector contains. So clear collect, let's give the name of our collection as get app details. There is a function name as get apps. What it will do? It will fetch all the apps that are there in this tnet, correct? So just run it so that this collection will be initialized. Just click. So let's open the collection and see what it is there. If you open this collection, then you are seeing that this collection contains these 5 columns, and in this name property you are seeing the app ID. So our app ID. So what is our app ID? If you go to details, then you will see that the app ID for this app is this one, right? And inside this get app details, where it is, this is 8180, right? So this is our app ID. So how to fetch this? Let's click here. Inside the properties tab, you are seeing that there are more properties named as app open protocol, app open URI, and so on, right? And there is one more property named as display name, app details, the name of our app. In this app open URI and app open protocol, you are seeing that the environment name is also there, right? So this is the environment, correct? Okay. So now how to fetch this app ID from this collection? So let's see. Make use of, so what code we have to write? We have to make use of lookup function. Lookup our collection, get app details on what basis? On the basis of properties dot display name is equal to our name of the app. Name of the app is app details. And we will also apply one more filter condition. The reason is that we need to get the correct app ID pertaining to this environment. And as you have seen in the collection that the environment ID lies in app open protocol URI or properties dot app open protocol URI, and just amend this condition to environment ID in. So this environment ID should be the part of this. So then only correct app ID will be returned. What is the name? env ID. This is the name, right? And there is a property name. So if you open this collection, right? So the name property basically contains the ID, right? So we just have to write dot name, correct? Just format it. So this is the code to get the app ID. Now let's assign it to a variable so that we can show it into a label, right? Just copy this and inside this label just assign this, correct? Just click and see that we are able to get the app ID or not. Just click here. So you are seeing that we are able to get the app ID. Just match the app ID with this. This is our app details, and the app ID is this pertaining to this environment, correct? Now we are left with this app URL. First, what we have to do, just copy this and put it in your app. This is the app URL that we need dynamically. So let's comment this of concatenate. We will make use of concatenate function, and this will remain the same. Just copy the first part, this one till here. Then comes the environment ID. Concatenate this one. Then comes the app ID. Put the braces, app ID. After that, there is a question mark. Question comma tenant ID is equal to, put the braces, comma, then tenant ID can be retrieved from host.tenant ID, right? So this is the code for this. Concatenate this one, and now let's assign this to a variable set app URL because we need to show it into a label. Just put the braces. So this is the app URL, right? So let's see that it is returning the correct value or not. Then now we just need to assign it to a label app URL. Just run it and see. Okay. So you are seeing that this is the app URL. This coming. So let's match this. Is it matching with this or not? Just match. So it is matching. Correct. So we are able to create the app URL dynamically. What we have done, we have written the concatenate function. In my introduction, I have told you that so I'll be using this app URL in order to send email to the business users, right? So how to do that? Just add one button, give it, rename it BTN send mail. Just give it the tag send mail. Just put here. At the on select event of this, we will make use of launch function. Launch. And what are the parameters? Mail to. Then sorry, we will pass the record. Inside this, there are two more parameters. Subject. Give the subject. Body. Give the body. Correct. In the subject, we can write application URL. Body, we can write please find the app URL to check details. Just put it in next line. This is the code for send mail. Let's save it and just run it and see. So as soon as you click on this send mail, an Outlook will be opened up and it will show you a pop-up. So this is the Outlook. So you are seeing that I have written please find the app URL to check details. This is the app URL and it is very useful for deep linking and in order to send email to the business users. So in order to get the app ID and the app URL dynamically, you have to make use of PowerApps for Makers connectors. Now let's deploy the app to the developer environment. In order to deploy the app to the developer environment, you have to go to solutions. And in the left navigation, you will be finding a pipeline icon. Just click on this pipeline. I already configured the pipeline in this environment. So you are seeing that the name of the environment is Learn Power Platform underscore QA. So this Learn Power Platform QA is the developer environment. Now just in order to deploy the app, you have just click here, deploy here. You will be navigated to this screen. It will take some time to deploy. It will ask for environment ID and environment type. So the environment ID for this developer environment is this. Just copy this and paste it here. And the name of the environment type is developer. Just copy it and paste it. Just click on next. Now just click on deploy. So our solution will be deployed to the developer environment. So let's wait for some time. So let's open the developer environment also in the new tab. So just click Learn Power Platform underscore QA. Now the solution has been deployed. So now just open the developer environment. This is the developer environment. Learn Power Platform underscore QA. And as it is being deployed through pipeline, so the solution will be automatically moved to manage solution. Right? And the name of the solution is Research on Connectors. If you are seeing that this is our default environment and this is a solution in the default and this is our developer environment and this is the solution. So let's run the app and see that it is returning the correct environment ID, app ID and app URL or not. Now just run this app. So this is the developer environment. Once you click on this get environment ID, then you will be seeing that the environment ID has been returned and also the environment type has also been returned. So you can match this environment ID and the environment type with this developer and start from E and end with C. So same is there in this, correct? Now just click on this app ID. So you are seeing that the app ID that is returned starts from 7 and ends with 2. Just match this app ID with this. This is our developer environment and just see the app ID. Go to details. So the app ID starts from 7 and ends with 2. So it is correct. Now just click on this get app URL. So this is the app URL that is generated and it's a combination of environment ID, app ID and tenant ID. Just match this also. Environment ID, app ID and tenant ID. Now just match this with the default environment. Just play this also once again and get environment ID, get app ID, get app URL. This is the default environment. This is the developer environment. So you are seeing the environment ID is different, the app ID is different, and the app URL is also different. Correct? So this is all about environment ID, app ID, and app URL. If you want to send an email also for the developer environment, you just have to click here, and a pop-up will be opened up. And this is the content of the mail. So you are seeing that the environment ID is there, app ID is there, and tenant ID is there. This is all about how to get the environment ID, application ID, and application URL inside Power Apps. So if you like this video, then please do like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching this video, and have a great day ahead.